First time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davie, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Up Next. PostWrestling.com, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff, wherever you found us. For this show, it's like our bonus free show, and it's BDElite.
BDElite, yeah.
Yes, we are Up Next. We talk about NXT every week, but now not only do we have Deep Impact with you and Andrew Thompson, seems to be the tag team every Tuesday night.
It is indeed, yeah.
Chatting about that Forbidden Door. Then we talk about NXT that doesn't really have any forbidden doors, really. The only one that looked forbidden was the Lambo doors.
I mean, it's about as forbidden as you're going to get is the women's tag team champions coming down. I guess that's about the extent with NXT.
And then we have this show where talk about AEW Dynamite. And again, this was a show that we were doing on our Patreon since like the beginning of AEW, but we decided, hey, we do a lot of stuff on there as well, so why not give to the people? And we do it live on Twitch, because that's where we're live right now. Twitch.tv/UpNextPodcast. Every Wednesday night after NXT, we go live and record Up Next after that. So that's where you can find us if you what we look like. Hello. And on Thursdays, 1 p.m. Eastern Time is when we've been doing this brunch with the BDE as we talk about Dynamite.
Yeah, it's been good. We to kind of still keep patrons kind of giving them something extra, you do have the opportunity to call in. So if you're in the Twitch room right now and you are one of our patrons, patreon.com/upnext, follow that Zoom link and you'll be able to call in at the end of the show and we can talk to you. And it doesn't just have to be about AEW. We can talk about last night's NXT a bit if you like, or anything in the world of wrestling that you'd like to hear our opinions on. So
yes,
we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, definitely. This is the show where last week we kind of did calls and we went stuff. So I'm super cool with that. Maybe we'll make that this show, go into that as well. There was a NXT like H with the press conference thing talking about Vengeance Day.
Anything of note?
He doesn't like to talk. Don't ask him about Velveteen Dream. Do not ask him about that.
He had a few questions, did he?
It seems like he gets more annoyed than I found out. Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah. Tell people how they can find that, because that was quite something.
Okay, like last year, 2 years ago, Triple H and Steph and Kathy Kelly did this video for like .com. It was live streamed, and it's basically them walking around Access. It was popular. It made its rounds when it came out, but someone had now gone and like edited it, kind of explained to you what was going on. So funny. Just
focusing on Triple H, who just has got out of the wrong side of bed that morning or something.
It's like when you like shopping with like your wife or girlfriend or mom or somewhere. Don't know why you're there. I don't know. It's just funny. Search YouTube, Triple H, Stephanie. Like, lost.
The first thing I found interesting about that is actually how hands-on they seem to be with everything. Because I wouldn't have thought, like, have you been to the Superstore when you went to Mania? Did you go to Access?
No, I didn't.
It's pretty impressive, but I wouldn't have thought like a Triple H and Steph would be overseeing it and making sure everything's set out how they want. Like Triple H seemed to fucking hate it.
Yeah, he didn't.
He was like, "Why is there so much space?"
People in our chat right now have also seen this video. They're like, "Oh yeah, I remember it made rounds, like some clips of it. Now someone is making a package." Oh, we are losing. So we had Triple H on this conference call. Vengeance Day is this Sunday. We will be doing our watch along and post show for that because we still are urine
friends,
and will always be. But we're talking about Dynamite today with a Forbidden Door. It seems like this was. You looked at the graphic for tonight's main. Thought like it. I don't know. It's like didn't seem like this was real until it was gonna happen.
Until it happened, yeah.
And that's because KENTA wrestling on the main event of an American for wrestling.
Yeah. It's been a while since KENTA or Hideo Itami was in a main event in North America. Well, for a big promotion, I guess he has been doing main events in New Japan Strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty cool to see. And obviously we'll get to that a bit later. But big main event, I thought.
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah, definitely. Anything of noteworthy before we kind of jump into this show for you? Anything going on?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Not much has happened since last night. We just watched AEW. We had more arepas, I think they're
Arepas.
called, that
Yeah.
we had last night.
You made these arepas,
Yeah.
not reapers, but it tasted like you put reapers in. You put the bomb.
There'd have been Reaper peppers in the bomb, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was good.
Yeah, my butthole's reaping.
Oh yeah.
The bomb is no joke for those who are interested in the hot sauces. That now I understand that why these celebrities can't take it.
Yeah, doing a whole wing tossed in
Ridiculous.
that would be crazy. But
Yeah.
I like it. Like it gives a nice burn at the back of the throat.
Yeah.
Like when you've got like just a little bit in there. It's nice.
Yeah, I feel like Nia Jax.
Yes.
My hole.
My hole.
Yeah, so I guess we can jump into some AEW Dynamite and maybe go into some other stuff afterwards. But let's jump into that and let's talk about AEW Dynamite from Wednesday, February 10th, 2021. And we're starting off with a TNT title match that seems to be like, some people are like, oh, this one kind of comes out of nowhere. But I was super excited for this as well. It's kind of the quote unquote return of Joey Janela, the bad boy.
Yeah, Janela's a weird one because I would have thought he'd have had a bit more story in AEW. He seems to come and go, has the odd match, and actually usually quite a big profile match, like against a Moxley or an Omega or here a Darby Allin, and then just disappears again for a while. And I guess maybe does some stuff on Dark. I don't know whether it's because he's got other commitments with like his GCW stuff as well, perhaps. But yeah, I'm surprised I don't see more of Janela. Because not saying he's the greatest worker in the company, but he's definitely got a personality and maybe a character who's a bit more, like, I don't know, like entertaining to put on TV.
Yeah, he's definitely a weird one. You look at Joey Janela and you kind of think he's like a shrunk down version of someone else. And then you watch him and you're like, oh, his gimmick is he's like, what, New Jersey guy? Like kind of just sleazy. That's kind of what he goes for. And then he like usually delivers for me in the ring. We went to All In weekend, and I think that's what it was, him versus Hangman. At All In originally, and that's when I realized like this guy's great. And then we've seen him on the Indies quite a bit too. And I always thought like, you know, I wouldn't put it past this guy making it to like an NXT level or whatever. This was before AEW, and now I'm like, hey, there is some character there. The flashy glasses, that the weird attitude, the backyard wrestler style gimmick is something that he's like honed into he's definitely made it his own. And seeing that promo last week where he just was like, hey, I'm back, I want to wrestle. I was like genuinely like, yeah, good for you, because I think you are a pretty good wrestler.
I think maybe not to the casuals, but I think to people who kind of know wrestling a bit broader, he's always someone who's got some name value that can be beaten.
Yeah.
You know, like if you want to do a random TNT title match as they did today, you put Joey Janela in there, and it means a bit more than going up against a Serpentico or a Ryan Nemeth, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he does have a bit more name value, but also he can take a pin and we don't really care. It doesn't really hurt him too much. He's Joey Janela.
Yeah, and I know he's like doing his own fed, GCW, and they got like all these things lined up for
Mania weekend. Yeah.
Still not getting Suzuki versus Orange Cassidy.
Not yet.
One day.
Maybe Dallas.
One day.
Dallas, yeah.
I have time to go to that one. So I want to watch that.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Joey Janela preparing for this match, like on Twitter, an interview or something, saying that people are just jealous because they all say that I just look like everyone else. But if everyone else could do what I could do, then they would be doing it. And they're just mad that I eat lobster. Because he can buy that TNT money.
He's got a point.
Yeah,
he does have a point.
Yeah, I think so. I have similar glasses to him that I don't usually wear in public, but I walk around.
You always just bring them in and give them to me, and then leave them in here. And every like week when I decide to clean my room, I just have all this shit that I just put back in your room, and it's always this pair of like Joey Janela glasses. Like, why are they in here? It's like, oh, thought you'd wear them. I'm like, what?
Yeah, they're like snowboarder. Someone got me them for free like years ago, and they're like worth 300 bones, and I'm like, well, I'm cool, but like I'm not rocking. It's really not. It's not often I wear them in public.
Sorry, what? They're how much?
They're like 300 bills.
Those comedy glasses.
Those blue ones. Those blue ones are like worth. They're like a brand name. Yeah.
Show me after. We might be talking about different pair of glasses.
Oh, maybe you think we're talking about something else.
If they're the ones I'm thinking of, you were ripped off.
I didn't buy them. Someone just someone was gifted, and they're like, these are not for me, and somehow gave them to me, and then I had them for years, and then Joey Janela became a thing, and I was like, oh, now I have these like, same glasses as him, but they are like snowboarder type thing. I mean, he was rocking a nice jacket in that promo last week for this match too. I love his look with the flashy colors. I think that's what wrestling, that's what wrestling is, and he definitely follows in that. But Janela is going up against the TNT champion, and that's Darby Allin. And these two have history because they've probably beaten the piss out of each other over the indies.
Oh, yeah.
So they kind of got some history. These guys, you would expect going into this that they were going to bring out trash cans right away and, bite each other's fingers and cheese graters and stuff. But instead, they're doing technical wrestling. There's like the lucha-style arm drag from Darby. That's one of his classic moves.
Like the top rope springboard one looks great.
So beautiful, yeah. And then Joey dumps Darby onto the apron at one point and then hits a tope suicida, which is crazy. And then Darby gets the offense and hits his own tope. And Darby's is like that wild, getting shot out of a cannon, like back senton tope. That move is crazy. How do you not go flying? You don't even know where your body is going to fly into, but just crazy. And then Darby goes for this move where he bounces off the ropes and then he gets a German and a super kick. And this is where we had a discussion over super kicks because Excalibur lately has been calling super kicks thrust kicks. So are they not allowed to say super kicks or?
Maybe I don't know, maybe if it's not allowed, but perhaps it's a thing to save just for the Young Bucks.
Because
it's like, imagine if in WWE, if anyone, anytime the Usos hit a super kick, if they were going, sweet your music, you might be a bit, oh, okay.
Right.
So maybe it's to keep it more special for the Young Bucks, because, that's kind of their branding, super kick party, all that.
Because a lot of wrestlers use super kick, and I noticed that Excalibur's calling it a thrust kick. So I've been in this martial arts kick lately. And I went and I looked this up, and a thrust kick is like more of the bicycle pump kick, like Adam Cole brogue kick almost kind of thing, Sheamus style. That's like what I think of a thrust kick, almost like the crane kick, Karate Kid.
Yeah.
But a super kick is more of like a side, like stepping kick. So I had to look this up, and apparently, Gentleman Chris Adams was one of the first guys to create the super kick, and it's just been called that ever since.
Right.
So
I call it a super kick.
Yeah,
I think we kind of went down this rabbit hole. A thrust kick is, I believe, anything that uses the sole.
Yeah.
So it can be to the side, it can be behind you, as long as you're thrusting, I guess.
Right.
With your sole.
I mean, you do
always be thrusting.
If you hit the super kick, the guys usually hit them with their foot.
Yeah.
Right? So I mean, I also see it was called the side kick or the crescent kick.
Yeah. It was the crescent kick for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
So all the kicks, but it's always a super kick. Well, they're super kicks and it's crazy. Darby comes back with a crazy stunner, but then Janela just hits him with a old-fashioned Terry Funk style pile driver. Looked great. Darby bounced like RVD in ECW back in the day when he used to take those kind of moves. Darby hits an avalanche code red and then the coffin drop, and Darby pins Janela, retaining the TNT title. In a little hot opener here on Dynamite.
I really love this match. I love how as soon as this was announced, we're expecting thumbtacks, staple guns, body bags, the lot. And I love that they, as you said, started off doing real technical mat-based wrestling. And then they got a little dirtier. They started doing, Janela did, the fish hooks in the cheeks. And they started, there was the moment where Janela's teeth were on the rope to try and break a submission, and Darby just kicks at it. So it started to get a bit more vicious, but still within the rules of wrestling, and not going too crazy. I thought it was great. I thought it told a really nice story with sort of both guys trying to prove to us that there's more to them than just crazy stunts. Thought it was a nice opener. And also, I just love how in AEW, every match kind of feels unique. I'm not saying every match is stellar and hits it out the park, but it doesn't feel as formulaic. They all tend to kind of tell a story, whereas I watch WWE at times, and sometimes there's equally as crazy moves and stuff, but just the pattern of the match feels very samey. You know when they're going to a commercial break. It's you know when the heat switches from the babyface back to the heel. It feels very samey and patterned, whereas I think AEW individual matches, especially TV matches that seem to be the most formulaic, seem to stand out on their own a bit more. And you get that with matches like this, with the match with Jungle Boy and Dax Harwood the other week. And these aren't main events. These are just matches on the show and tell a nice little contained story. And I was thoroughly entertained for the whole of this opener.
Yeah, I would compare it to similar Jack and Dax a few weeks ago. It's like, yeah, these two clearly can go out here and put on a great match. And that's kind of what they did. I really enjoyed it. I would like to see them tie it up even more so.
This might have been Janela's best showing, I think.
I remember that one with Kenny, though. That was on Dark when they first started. That match was crazy.
Did it happen on Dark? Did it really happen?
It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Shot in the Dark, John Cena, returning next week. He'll be talking all about Dark and NXT UK and all the other stuff and Forbidden Doors, I'm sure. So Darby beats Joey here and retains the title, but we might be seeing him a little bit later on. We have Jon Moxley. He says he's got to face these two guys that look like dorks that they somehow joined together in some weird Facebook group, KENTA and Kenny and Don. And, well, I have to team with a guy who's tried to kill me this past year in Lance Archer tonight in a match that may or may not be on the board. And, well, these guys want to take me off the boards. Tonight is not sanctioned, and me and Lance here, we're the nastiest suckers in the game, and we're going to dump you guys on your head. And we're going to go eye to eye, toe to toe. Tonight is not about official matches or titles. Tonight is just for fun. Also revealing that he's carrying, for the first time on TV, the IWGP North American title, the US title. Yeah.
It does feel funny that now he's lost the AEW Championship, he kind of remembers he has this title as well.
I have this one.
I mean, I guess waiting for that door to be opened, but it's like, well, do you even care about this, Mox? Because I've never heard this mentioned until like a week ago.
It's true.
And you've only just brought it out. That being said, I really enjoy Jon Moxley's promos. I always want to just listen to him as soon as he starts talking. February 26th. That's the date we're getting the match. KENTA versus Moxley.
Yes, so that's coming up. New Japan be putting that on. So finally getting this one-on-one match, but they might fight today in this tag team match. And if you're looking for weird Facebook group, join the Up Next podcast.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Why? What's going on?
It's fun.
Oh, I thought you were saying it's weird. I thought you were going somewhere with that.
No, I mean it is.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Join the Facebook group.
Yeah. Have you
Up Next podcast?
Yeah, it's a weird collective of people.
Yeah,
you can say that. Join us there because we post a lot in there and go back and forth. Sammy Guevara comes backstage into the Inner Circle dressing room, and he clears the room. He says, "Proud and powerful, Jake, Wardlow, please, I need to be alone with Jeff. But cameraman, you can stay." So he goes, "Max, I know what you're doing. I know that you're trying to take over the Inner Circle." MJF says, "That's childish. This is a petty rivalry. Come on. You were the apple of Chris Jericho's eye, and now the sex gods have died, and MJF is the new favorite. And let's be honest, Sammy, you don't hate me. You hate Chris Jericho." And Sammy realizes that MJF now is starting to record, videotape or something with his phone here. And Sammy realizes this, grabs his phone, smashes it.
Well, no, he goes sarcastically, "Oh yeah, I hate Chris Jericho. Yeah. I want to take over the Inner Circle." But that's when we see that it's been recorded, because obviously MJF's going to use that and be like, "Hey, look what Sammy said."
Oh, he's so cheeky. Well, then he throws his phone, and then what looked like he punched him in the nuts, but he punches him in the gut and walks off.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about this. I've really enjoyed the story, and I think MJF and Sammy Guevara here as well are playing it really well. This whole not hidden camera thing is getting a bit silly for me. So Tony Khan said he basically doesn't want these fly on the wall cameras. He wants there to always be a reason why a camera is there. So it's not like in WWE where people are having private conversations and no one knows about it.
Right.
So that's why they're like, hey, I want the cameraman to stay here. But then why do you care if someone's recording you? Because you can just show Jericho the footage. And that's where bringing attention to it makes you see the like gap in logic. Whereas you watch WWE and you just go, you suspend your disbelief. But because they're trying to go out their way to explain it
every time,
you end up picking the holes. I kind of felt it went from 1 to 100 as well with the gut punch and the smashing up of the phone. But I am still interested in this.
I really like the story, obviously, with Sammy and stuff, but it got really hokey by the end of this.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, well,
oh,
excuse me, bless me. Yeah, wow. It got really weird because the gut punch looked over the top, like 80s wrestling. Oh, he punched me in the gut and he's gonna sell it, but like, yeah.
The thing is, it looked like he punched him in the dick, and then he's selling the gut, and then later he's got his ribs taped up. So I mean, obviously that is him, MJF playing it up.
Yeah.
But I mean, a gut punch does really hurt.
It does.
It will knock you down like it did
it's a
here.
sucker gut punch.
It just didn't look the best.
Well, we go to Cezar Bononi, everyone's favorite wrestler. In AEW. He's teaming with literally your favorite wrestler, Pretty Peter Avalon. You would not stop talking about this guy last time. Maybe it was something to do with that edible we did.
Maybe, yeah. This guy's great.
You were like all over the place.
No, I think what I was saying is when we eventually get crowds back, you should still have... I don't want to see Peter Avalon wrestle, to be honest.
Okay.
But once crowds are back, you should still have Peter Avalon in his bed watching on. And it can just be a thing. He can just be hired by AEW forever to just be there. So fans can go. They want to have a picture with Peter Avalon in his bed.
It's weird.
And I just don't really want to see the guy wrestle.
Well, like, spoilers, his bed's broken.
I know. We'll get there. Beds can be rebuilt.
Yeah. Peter Avalon and Cezar Bononi versus the Nightmare Collective, which is Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson. So many people have joined this Nightmare Collective. There's like 18 people now, but Cody has defended it, and he's like, hey, this isn't like some stable or faction. We're like a literally like a family. We're a unit. So
I know a lot of people, as soon as you see it, you hear another members join, everyone groans. But for me, this isn't like NWO where you're adding members. This feels more like a kind of New Japan stable.
Yes.
Where it's more about like how you train together. Like these guys are like training partners, and it feels more of a camp. And I could potentially see the Nightmare family in 10 years' time when maybe Cody's not even there. It's still kind of a thing. It's Cutie's school, basically, isn't it? It's Cody's guys. It's I don't mind it, actually. And as long as it's not every week all 17 members are coming out and people are interfering, but it's more like, yeah, he's just under the umbrella.
Right.
Just like you'll be like, oh, I'm such and such from Chaos, or I'm from Suzuki Gun, or whatever.
Yeah. No, it's true. I like that in wrestling. I mean, the Four Horsemen back in the day, not always, like, they were just still like a unit, that they were all doing their own thing, but like they were together. They trained together, traveled together, kind of essentially thing. I think that's pretty great. I'm waiting for Lil Uzi Vert to join the Nightmare Club.
Oh,
his diamond in his head.
Diamond in his head.
Yeah. We have a match here. Pretty Peter Avalon gets a drop kick here from, my autocorrect says Scotty, but there is no Scotty in this match, so I'm presuming it's Cody. Cody's working with Cezar Bononi here, and Bononi hits him with this like pump handle, like drop onto like the front of Cody's body, and it seems
like a fall away slam pump handle kind of, but landing on the face. It looked pretty good.
Cody starts to sell that his shoulders hurt, and I did see online that maybe he legit hurt his shoulder in this. I wasn't sure, but he was selling it, and I noticed that he talked to the ref, and then instantly the ref, like, I don't know, he has an earpiece or something to talk or listen or something. But I hope he's all right. And then it's Cody who eventually gets beat down and tagged in and out with Peter Avalon and Bononi, but he tags finally to Lee Johnson, and he shows up. He hits these crazy moves, including this like nuts corkscrew over the top rope thing to the outside. Like what even? His was like the Fosbury flop, but while doing that, he's like
The corkscrew and stuff,
corkscrewing.
yeah.
I don't know what the hell this was, but crazy. And if that wasn't enough, he gets out in the ring and hits this like fisherman buster into like the Ushigoroshi knee move, like kind of like Kenny, but within a fisherman buster. Just crazy. Bononi's though in, breaks this up, and he's a big boy here. Peter Avalon's the legal guy though, and goes for his martinis, but misses it, and Lee Johnson rolls him up and gets the win for the Nightmare Family Collective. Cody and Lee Johnson win.
I actually quite enjoyed this, and I thought this was a great idea to bring up some dark talent with Bononi, Avalon, and Johnson here. What I liked is when we've seen in the past, remember we had, I think there was some 4-way or a tag team match on a Raw once when they just brought up NXT wrestlers, and I think Sami Zayn was one of them and stuff, and just put the match on. They did it with Charlotte as well, I believe. We saw it at the beginning of the Cruiserweight division, where they just throw on the Cruiserweight matches on Raw, and no one would care because they wouldn't know anyone.
Right.
Whereas here, you've given 3 guys that, unless you watch unless you watch Dark, you really don't know who these guys are. But you've paired them with the star of the company. So therefore, it makes people who don't watch Dark be like, oh, well, it's a Cody match. I kind of got to watch this.
Yeah.
You stick around and then you see, oh, this Lee Johnson guy is pretty good. So I thought it was a really good job. And I would like to see them maybe do this a bit more when they kind of graduate some people from Dark, that they mix them up. Because if this was Lee Johnson and Brandon Cutler versus Avalon and Bononi,
Right.
You'd switch the channel, you know? Like, who are these guys? Why am I... This tag match means nothing to me. I thought this did a great job in... Cody kind of just sat back. I don't know. Apparently in the chat room on Twitch, people are saying he has a slight tear to his rotator cuff.
Oh, so he was injured.
So maybe he did a bit less, but I still think the win was going to be Johnson, and it was an idea to showcase Lee Johnson.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I thought they completely succeeded. I thought he looked great. And, I mean, I'm sure you'll get to the promo now.
Yeah, no, I liked Lee Johnson winning this match because I don't know what the martinis is from Peter Avalon. Great name, considering that's his gimmick right now, is drinking martinis. It looked like he was going for like double knees to the back of the head.
Yeah.
But it was missed. I like the fact that it was Lee who got the win here because it gives him the Cody rub here. Like, yeah, you were tagging with him, but you won the match.
Yeah.
So it's great. After the match, the Nightmare Family here kind of cuts a promo, and he says... Cody taught me, Dustin taught me, Arn, even Brandy showed me if you do the work, it always pays off. And the Rhodes family is my family. I did this for them, and they did this for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, a great little promise. It kind of seemed like off the cuff, even though it wasn't.
It sounded like a kind of legit athlete.
Yeah,
it sounded someone who's been in the under 21s division and has just beaten one of your top stars in like
Peter Avalon.
In a first round match or something, and they've been like, oh, all this attention's finally on me. But it sounded like a sports star here, which I like in promos, especially if it's someone who's not particularly flashy.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to sound just real. Chris Elliott in the Twitch room brings up a point that I didn't really notice. QT Marshall's reaction to Lee Johnson not mentioning him.
Oh.
He mentioned everyone, including Brandy, but his own coach.
Wow.
He didn't mention.
I mean, it is the Cody's the line that he says, "Do the work." That's his thing. So I mean, yeah, but yeah, that could be a little QT heel turn.
Maybe.
I don't know. But I mean, maybe we'll just lead to the match.
But for a Lee Johnson, that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to put him against Omega right away, are you?
Yeah.
I think a little, maybe eventually you can see him racking up wins and maybe getting a bit too big for his boots and can have little feud with a Dustin and a QT leading to a Cody, perhaps. I mean, we're talking long term here, but I was impressed here. I thought this did a real good job with Lee Johnson.
Yeah, helped get him over for sure. We go to the Young Bucks backstage. They're with the Good Brothers, and the Young Bucks are kind of recreating I watched a little bit of BTE this week with being, and they did this pretty much on the show. So it felt like I was watching this a second time.
Right.
And they're like, oh, our heat's with Private Shardy. and that the Young Bucks should just be happy that they're taking care of Private Party. Now you got to deal with Jericho and MJF. They were mocking you last week, but who cares? Because you guys live in big mansions, and the Young Bucks kind of are playing like the good guys here, like they're innocent. Like we didn't really want you guys to interfere and stuff. So they kind of come up with an idea that not only will they put the titles on the line against Jericho and MJF at the pay-per-view, but next week we'll show the world against Proud and Powerful. We'll give them a title shot next week live on Dynamite. Private Party, Proud and Powerful, so many PPs, versus the Young Bucks. Titles on the line.
I think we're getting a title change.
Whoa.
I could see Private Party, Inner Circle versus Inner Circle at Revolution.
Okay.
And then it could be down to the Good Brothers why that happened, and you could go to that Good Brothers Young Bucks match
at the pay-per-view.
At the pay-per-view.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a route you could.
I think that might make more sense, to be honest. And then you've got the Bucks who are chasing. They could even chase for the Impact titles, maybe put them on the line. But yeah, I liked how the Bucks here were like, guys, you're idiots. If we won, we could have picked anyone, and we were going to pick you. Can you imagine how big that match would have been?
Right.
Good Brothers versus the Bucks. But you were dumb. You came out. You interfered, and that's not going to happen now. I just think we didn't really have any interaction between Jericho, MJF, and the Bucks here, did we? Not that I remember.
No.
And we're 3 weeks away now. It's coming up close. So
you're right. It makes sense.
Fuck it. Put it on Proud and Powerful.
We all know, everyone talks about how Proud and Powerful are just like
so underused.
They're just sitting there, right?
Yeah.
And like they can put on some crazy matches, some great storytelling. I think even just being in the Inner Circle, the comedy, the acting of both of them, like play really well together.
Santana especially
is
like
so cool.
He's so cool. Like always just dressed, looks fucking awesome.
And Ortiz is great.
Whenever
like, with
he's
his
had a
comedy.
promo, I've been like, wow, this guy. I see a lot in Santana, and as you said, Ortiz with his comedy as well. These guys should be bigger, but I mean they're a big deal. They're in the Inner Circle, which is a main event act, but I barely see them wrestle.
I want to see them beat the Bucks next week, even if it's by hook or by crook. I want Proud and Powerful to win, and then Inner Circle, like team fight at the pay-per-view. Hey, who knows? Maybe they could quit too and be with Sammy, and that's a 3-man group there.
Yeah,
right?
Rishi in the Twitch chat is saying, I think Ortiz and Santana will get screwed by MJF and will end up leaving the Inner Circle as well.
Okay, got you. So the whole Inner Circle is just going to be an outer
Collapsing,
circle.
yeah.
I want to see Proud and Powerful beat the Bucks, and then you can do Bucks versus Good Brothers at the pay-per-view. The Bucks could screw them over, and they lose the titles to Private Party.
Maybe.
An Impact over there, right? That's what they're doing. So yeah, that sounds like a pretty interesting story. The different stories kind of flying through, and I think Good Brothers versus Bucks is a match I would want to watch that.
I think there are people that I'd rather see against the Bucks, but I think on name value and just the Bullet Club connection and all
do
that,
it one time.
I do want to see it.
Do it one time.
For sure.
Considering I've watched them tag so many times in New Japan Ring of Honor back in the day. So like, I kind of want to see that.
And I think what's kind of cool now with the whole open door thing is you can have a few different programs and you've got different pay-per-views you can put them on.
Yeah.
You could do Bucks and Good Brothers at Revolution, but if you wanted to put it on the Rebellion, too many stupid titles.
Revolution, Rebellion.
Yeah, Rebellion's Impact, I think. Like, you've got 2 pay-per-views, essentially, you can put it on. Or if you just wanted to get a big number on Dynamite, there's lots of opportunities for these matches to happen.
Yeah. I still feel like it's Impact that's getting, like, not the greatest...
Not yet.
greatest help here. Because you mentioned, like, if it happens on Dark, does it really happen? If it happens on Impact, does it really happen?
Yeah.
Tree falls in the woods, do you really hear it? So we go to next, and it's Hangman Page. Looking at a nice jacket here. Denim jacket with
I want this.
Yeah, it looks like a real Montana cowboy. Kevin Costner vibe. Not Robin Hood.
What's wrong with that? The accent? More of a Carrie Elwes.
Hangman, no, he's just a glorious looking man. Matt Hardy shows up, and says, "Hey, Hangman, I know you don't want to, be in a tag team, but the win we got, I'm still I'm over the moon with just how happy I am with this. It's just crazy that we won this match. We are special. Hey, what are you doing tonight? Because I got this bar rented out just for me. All you can drink. Tabs on me." And Hangman's like, "Oh,
Just go to your hotel room.
yeah.
What's the point in having a bar just to yourself?
Yeah, it's weird." But it's Matt Hardy. He says he's big money Matt.
Unless you're like, you fancy the bartender or whatever. Like, what's the point? Just
Right.
buy a bottle of vodka and a crate of beer and go to your room.
You're like, "Hey, man, I got a bottle of Jack. Let's go.
Yeah.
Come to my room." That's what the wrestlers really do these days. All the days. So, but yeah, there's no bars to go to. So Matt just
There are in Florida.
Yeah, true. But Matt just rented one out and they're drinking there. So Hangman's like, "Yeah, sure. I'll meet you. I just got to go get my phone." So Matt's like, "Cool, I'll meet you like a little bit later." And he leaves. And then Hangman starts to go a different way and the Dark Order walk by. And I don't know. I've said this before. The Hangman character for the past year plus has been someone that you could like relate to. But here I don't know why I felt like I related to this. Maybe it's like when you're at a bar and you're chatting to one person or one girl or a guy or whatever, and then yeah, I'll meet you up later and like we can connect. And you're like, "Huh, all right." And then you turn around and it's like that like one night stand you had like last week or something.
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh, hey, hi, you're here too." Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And it was like that, but with the Dark Order, and they're all like, "Oh, hey, Hangman," and Silver's like, "You look good." Oh, stupid. The face turn of Dark Order is so great. I want Dark Order versus Proud and Powerful to be the next feud. If that's their titles on Proud and Powerful,
Silver and Reynolds?
yeah, I want them to feud with them down the line. Those are going to be some great matches. So Hangman's in this dilemma here where he's agreed to hang out with Matt Hardy, who kind of is being a little sneaky. We're not sure what the deal is yet, but he's being kind of sneaky. And Dark Order just wanted to be his friend.
Yeah.
So Hangman's kind of doing them dirty a little bit. Again, I really connected with this.
He's lost. He doesn't kind of know where he needs to go in his life now.
Dark Order's like that really sweet girl next door that like just wants to like hang and be his friend and genuine and like wants to just like be good for him. And then Matt Hardy's over there being like, "Hey, I got an 8-ball in my room. You want to come hang out?"
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I really like this.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice story.
It makes me invested into this character. It's so good. We go to the bastard Pac. He's going up against the Hollywood hunk Ryan Nemeth. Don't call him Dolph Ziggler, Ryan Nemeth.
No.
But I'm going to wear Dolph Ziggler gear and do all Dolph Ziggler's moves.
He didn't do any moves in this match.
No, he hit the Ziggler
just
DDT.
Okay.
He did the
Was that
Ziggler
the
DDT.
thing?
Yeah, he did the Ziggler DDT.
Definitely got more in the other week.
Yeah, just crazy. I read a story online that he's here because he was close with Brody Lee's family, apparently. And then I think Tony Khan was like, "Hey, you want to wrestle?" And now he's just been wrestling. So I mean, good for him, and that's really awesome to see. But I know he's trolling online, like, "Don't call me Dolph Ziggler," but like you're aiming to look like Ziggler,
Yeah.
I think. So yeah. This is Pac just killing him, lights him up with these kicks, and then he does get hit with. Pac gets the DDT, and he sells it like crazy, where he does the flip like and just dies from this DDT. But he comes back, knocks out Nemeth, hits the black arrow to the back, and then the Rings of Saturn. What does he call it? The
Brutalizer.
The brutalizer, and the shot here of Nemeth's face just screaming in agony has been memed already that I've seen this morning. And
Pac's face as well.
Yeah.
Just like almost going cross-eyed, like pulling the arms back. Look great.
So Pac wins this match in a flash here.
Yeah, just a very easy squash here from Pac. He looks great as always.
Yeah, Pac's one of the best.
Yeah,
like he
is.
could put on a great match with anyone, I think. Looking forward to see kind of where he ends up. Maybe TNT title picture down the line. I'm not too sure. But more with the Death Triangle as well. We have a recap of last week's wedding.
Sorry, someone in the Twitch room just put Dolph Ziggler's changed his profile picture on Twitter to Ryan Nemeth.
That picture from from the brutalizer. Yeah, the
amazing.
picture is so funny. That is hilarious. Yeah, the picture of Ryan's face here getting stretched. Great shot. Yeah, we go to a recap of last week Beach Break with the wedding of Kip and Penelope and how Chucky T handcuffed or foot cuffed Miro, and the Penelope got cake on her, and there was Orange Cassidy in the cake, and
Yeah, we really needed this recapped, I think.
yeah. Miro cuts a promo saying you shouldn't mess with us. And then it cuts to Orange Cassidy and Chucky T, who are just drinking champagne backstage, and they're like, "What didn't they think Orange Cassidy was gonna come out of a wedding cake?" Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't really need this.
Well, if you go to patreon.com/upnext, you can listen to our top 5 Moments of Love podcast.
Oh,
That
yeah.
will be dropping tomorrow. We recorded it yesterday, where we're talking all about the weddings of pro wrestling, and they're all better than that one.
Yes.
We even talk about Teddy Long and Crystal's wedding,
Mhm.
talk about Billy and Chuck, talk about every wrestling wedding possible, and all moments of just love and relationships and wrestling and cheating and bad love chapel stuff.
All
as
of it.
well.
All of the love.
Yeah, that's out on the Patreon tomorrow. If you're interested. .com/upnext. There's a nice plug for you. Jericho and MJF, they're backstage, and Jericho's not really sure what's going on with Sammy, and MJF's like trying to explain, like, yeah, he punched me, and now MJF's got his taped up ribs, like, oh, you punched me in the gut, and Jericho's like, no, I don't believe that he did that, and he's like, no, he did it, he smashed my phone. Well, let's worry about this match, says Jericho, because they have a tag team match up against the Acclaimed. Same a name. The Acclaimed have former history with MJF. I was told this morning from a listener who sent me, because they mentioned the "You Are My Sunshine" MJF, and that's what makes him mad, and he gets out of the ring to start this match off, and they start fighting, because MJF was on Rosie O'Donnell when he did. This clip has been shared everywhere.
Yes.
But she makes him sing, and on the show he sings "You Are My Sunshine." So the Acclaimed on the indies did this gimmick where they like sampled him singing that and rapped over it, like making fun of him, and the whole rap was like how MJF is actually a nice person and it's all a lie,
Right.
because he's a sunshine.
Yeah.
So when he mentioned "You Are My Sunshine" here, MJF is like, don't you fucking dare, and that's when he starts to beat him up here. MJF and Jericho though double team these guys, and there's a double flapjack. Jericho does his classic "come on baby" old school pin attempt there, stomping there. Bowens hits this like torture rack kind of body slam thing that looked pretty cool here. At one point Jericho has the upper hand but gets the boombox into the face, but he kicks out at 2. I thought for sure this was take a pin on these guys and throw a wrench into this. There's Bowens who gets like thrown out of the ring here, just gets flown out, and I think it's Jericho who eventually just hits the Judas effect, and they get the win over the Acclaimed here in somewhat quick fashion, but nothing really.
It's a heel team versus a heel team match, so the dynamic is a bit weird. The Acclaim definitely lent into more of a babyface style, even though they bent the rules a bit. I could see them as a good babyface team down the line, actually.
The Acclaimed?
The Acclaimed, yeah. They were definitely kind of playing that role, but it's just jarring watching 2 heels go at it, I think.
The hip-hop thing worked with Cena, because you're trying to be funny, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
When you kind of realize that, you make it
works.
You're dissing the heels.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I definitely see them going more that way down the line. This wasn't bad at all, just
It's just kind of there.
it was just there for me.
The story comes after the match, because Sammy Guevara comes out, and Jericho's like, Sammy, where were you? You weren't ringside with us here. And Sammy says, I'm done with the inner circle. I quit. And he leaves, gets out of the ring, walks up the ramp, looks at the 2 tunnels, goes through the babyface one to the right. He leaves through. So now Sammy basically teasing that he's a good guy. He's done with these guys. And the inner circle are like, whoa. And MJF's like, oh no, not Sammy leaving. It's what he wanted all along. But when we come back from commercial, it's Alex Marvez doing his greatest acting. Sammy, why did you leave the inner circle? As Sammy's trying to leave the venue here, Daly's place. I need time to refocus. I need time away from this place.
Impact?
You think? Fuck that owl. Yeah, probably. Makes sense.
I think there's actually a couple of people he could have some really cool matches with there. Trey Miguel, Rich Swann.
There's also like the AAA avenue there. I know Leo Rush just beat Laredo Kid for a cruiser title over there as well.
I wonder how. I mean, I guess Mexico's easy enough to go in and out of right now, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I don't know. But Sammy and that like X Division Impact.
Yeah, I think we could see that's where I see Sammy going.
Yeah.
And I think that would be cool, and to kind of can start seeing him work more babyface, I guess, over there perhaps, and before coming back. But I'm still very much interested in this story.
I wouldn't mind seeing him again with Proud and Powerful be more of a unit there. I think they could have some crazy matches between three of those guys. Death Triangle, best friends. There's so many avenues down the line. But Sammy as a babyface works for me. His moves are flashy.
Yeah.
He comes across. He could come across as a great babyface. But I like this. It makes you think. Where could he show up on Impact? New Japan. The door's open.
So many places. I prefer to, mainly just because of the presentation. I think I'd prefer to see him in Impact than New Japan Strong.
Yeah,
I know Impact's still empty arena, but they're piping in noise now. It kind of feels a bit more like a good environment, whereas I find it really hard to watch those kind of New Japan matches now.
It's weird.
The US ones. Yeah.
We have Hangman Page and Matt Hardy. They're at the bar. It's empty, just the bartender and them. And we see Hangman's clearly had a few already. There's like empty glasses where Matt's just had the one glass sitting there, and Matt says, Hangman, I'm still buzzing off our win, man. And he orders a shot. The shot comes, and when Hangman's pulling his back, Matt Hardy doesn't drink his and pours it away. Does the classic fake drinking here. And says, Paige, I've had a great time with you. You know, I know you don't want to be a tag team with me, but I think I could make you the best. I could make you richer than your wildest dreams. I could make you millions of dollars. And Hangman now is drunk. And is like, oh yeah, I bet you could. Like, you're great. I love you, Matt Hardy. Like, you're awesome. And he goes, look, why don't, you work for me. You sign this contract I have here. We'll make millions of dollars. I'll only take 30% of your earnings. And Hangman's like, yeah, that sounds great. I think that's a good idea because he's drunk. And he gives him this contract. And as Hangman's signing it, Matt looks at this camera. Again, pointing out the fly on the wall camera needs a reason to be there. And he goes, I'm making sure you're here. So there's proof, video proof that this is legit. And then goes back like Hangman didn't even realize this.
This moment was ridiculous because you can always do a tweet. If anyone's like, oh, so why was there a camera here for this? You can have Matt Hardy go, I needed a witness.
Yeah.
But I think here it's like, the reason why I've got a camera in this bar right now is because it's like, all right, Matt, geez, okay, all right.
So Hangman signs this thing.
Well, as Matt is talking to the camera, Hangman switches the contracts.
Oh, okay,
he had more contracts in his pocket, which he pulled out. So obviously he signed something different.
Yeah. So Matt Hardy goes, I gotta go, thanks, and then like leaves, and Hangman's like, I feel pretty good, and just chilling there.
So I wonder what this contract's saying. Maybe Hangman is now Matt Hardy's agent or something. Because it's going to be to screw over Matt, right? Surely.
Good. Yeah, I think I don't like the. It's weird because it's like, yeah, it's a stupid wrestling show, but it's him like basically getting this guy drunk and like doing things. It's like it's still like, all right, well, I don't know, but I like Hangman's acting and like anything he does. Like again, this character he does is you don't know if he's acting stupid, drunk, if he's not that like he's in wrestling or movies. It's so like when someone's acting drunk, they're so over the top. But he never he sometimes gets to that line and then never goes over it though.
Well, what I took from this, I don't think Hangman was drunk.
Right.
He's someone that drinks.
He's James Bond.
Yeah, he's someone that drinks a lot.
Yeah.
And he's not been in this bar long.
Yeah.
Because Matt only invited him 20 minutes ago.
Right.
So I think he's playing drunk because he knows that this is Matt Hardy's plan.
Yeah.
He's already got the second contract there.
Yeah.
So I think, the character of Hangman is playing drunk here, but I think he's pretty sober.
Yeah,
he's only had like a double jack at this point.
We've done a few of these James Bond reviews on Patreon, thinking No Time to Die would come out, but there is a lot of Time to Die. So we on the Patreon, deep in the archive there, we did the Daniel Craig Bond movies, and we talk about how the only time you saw James Bond get drunk is like Casino Royale, I think.
It's in Quantum,
he gets
I think,
drunk.
and he's on a flight.
And he does like 8 like 4-ounce martinis, and then finally you see Bond, because throughout the history of James Bond, he drinks all the time, but you never see him drunk. It's because he drinks all the time
And can always perform.
Yeah, just like Hangman.
Yeah.
Just like Hangman. Professional drinker, so of course he's not gonna let some Matt Hardy come in there and switch his like get him to sign some shit. I'm interested in seeing where this is going. I like Hangman's acting.
This is such a wartime thing, though. The whole getting like your enemy drunk to try and get secrets from them. Like there are these like miracle like drugs you can take that like mean you can't get drunk or you don't get a hangover and stuff like that people would take, like scientists would make for people during war times to take, so they'd be like, right, you're gonna get drunk with the enemy, and you're gonna get information, but you're gonna be sober because you're gonna take this. I don't know if it's a myth or what, but yeah, it's definitely a thing. Get the other person drunk to
Truth serum.
Take advantage of them. Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. Hope Hangman. I want to know what that contract was. That switched out one.
I guess we'll find out.
Well, we go to Tony Schiavone. He says, "Hey, I'm tired of saying this, but here's Sting." So Sting comes out, and Sting's about to say some things and point his bat, but before he can, Team Taz show up on the Titantron. He's like, "Hey, Sting, we're going on a little road trip, and we have a special passenger. You might know him." And the camera pans, and it's Team Taz loading. Well, Darby's already in this body bag, and they tie it to their car, their truck, and then they drive off with Darby like in this body bag attached to the car, like dragging around through the parking lot. So Sting sees this and then like goes through the tunnel, and Sting is in hot pursuit. Is he? Is he really? He just walks in to go find Darby.
I mean, is it a thing where he's going, I need to go after them, but realistically they're driving a truck and I'm 56. Like,
yeah,
I've got to make it look like I'm trying to help my hoodlum son, but what am I gonna do?
Hot pursuit. He was like, "Oh fuck, Darby's in a bad situation. It sucks for him, but what am I supposed to do?" Essentially, thing. I don't know. So that happened.
This is just so repetitive. For me, sure, Team Taz did something, but Darby seems to do this shit for fun anyway. He's got his mate to put him in a body bag and drive him around. So
he jumps out of hotel windows.
If we'd never seen his black and white videos where he does this crazy shit, I think this would be like, because it is crazy. He's in a body bag being dragged around by a car, like a truck. Like, that's pretty nuts. So but I feel a bit desensitized from it, so it meant nothing for me, and it was just another segment of Sting coming out, not saying anything.
Sting just likes to make his entrance. This was a quick entrance that I noticed because they were gonna throw to this thing. But Darby next week should just be like, "Yeah, I was fine. I do this all."
And I'm starting to get more worried because we really haven't seen Sting do anything physical at all. Maybe, but like this story's gone on for a while. I'd have thought we need the Sting beatdown, surely. Or we need something.
I want a Sting beatdown.
We need something more to happen, because as it is right now, I'm losing interest in this match because I'm like, I don't think Sting's allowed to really do anything.
Yeah.
They've just been treading water for a while with this thing, and I think maybe just suspend Team Taz for a couple of weeks so we just don't need to, like, it's storyline wise, we don't need to see them now till like the go home show in my mind.
Yeah, and that's
all these guys.
There's still a few weeks, right? Yeah,
3. I think
that's wild. Yeah, you need to do maybe a little something different. This wasn't too. This was very like itchy and scratchy. Like, that's how I feel. Team Taz and Sting. It's like so like just beat him up. It's an old guy. I don't like.
Someone in the room's bringing up that Sting did do the baseball bat shot, but yeah, that's I'm not really counting that as physical. You know, he hasn't taken a bump. No. He hasn't delivered a move or a punch or anything. He's just jabbed a bat at someone.
I'm not saying, you know,
I have lost interest. I think I kind of burnt out with this a few weeks ago, and every week is kind of proving my point.
It's very repetitive.
Yeah,
I think if you maybe made the story of this a little bit more, like, you didn't announce this match yet, but then Sting's like added to this match or something. I don't know. Sting hasn't done anything really. He just comes out and stands around, and it's like you do it every week. Yeah. Keep him off TV, make him special. Yeah,
I agree.
Strange. Hot Pursuit. Sting is in Hot Pursuit, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna walk this way."
Yeah, I'm definitely not as into this.
Why are five guys so afraid of this 50, 60-year-old dude in face paint? Like,
yeah.
I'd fight him. I'd give it a shot. So why can't five of these guys fucking do it? I don't understand. Instead, they go after Darby.
They're respectful, I guess.
Yeah, respect your elders. Well, Alex Marvez has had a busy day because earlier today he was on the hunt for the world champion Kenny to get an interview, and Marvez finds Kenny Omega on the golf course here in Florida, and he goes, "Hey Kenny, what are you doing out here? You have a match tonight. Shouldn't you be like preparing for that?" And Kenny's like, "Yo, fuck off. I'm golfing. All right?
You weird stalker, you.
Yeah,
like,
leave me alone. Leave me alone." He says, "No talking when I'm golfing." Hold on. Sit back and watch this shot. So Kenny makes this shot. Sand goes up. And Kenny's like, "Look, I'm already the best, so I thought, why not, try out in other things like golf." So he's doing the Michael Jordan. It's the Michael Jordan's so good at basketball. He's like, "Why don't I give this a shot? Why don't I try baseball or golf or cartoon movie about baseball, golf, and baseball and basketball?" He says that I'm fine. I'm chilling. This is where I go to like see nature and clear my mind and clear my thoughts. And he's not shooketh by his match tonight. He's already the best.
To be fair, I don't blame him. You need to clear your mind sometimes. There's only so much training you can do, and sometimes doing something else, playing around a golf maybe, clear the mind, have you in top form for the match. I thought Kenny was great here. He's just such a dick. He's playing it so well, just so arrogant, pompous. Golf as well, like the choice of golf, it's always seemed more of a elitist sport as well now. And now he's trying to dip his toe into golf, and he looked okay as well. Don was kind of cheating for him a bit, but he's still like,
so while this is happening,
didn't look too bad.
Yeah, while this interview is kind of happening in the way background on this golf course, you see two people, and it looked like Don Callis, and it was revealed that it was him, who clearly picks up this ball and goes and puts it in the hole, and then goes, "Whoa, did you see that shot, Kenny? You got it in the hole." And he's like, "I know, I'm just so good at golf." So it's showing that invisible hand, Don Callis, just like he did with wrestling. He's brainwashing Kenny here, like making it look like he's the best. Because he kind of already been doing that in wrestling. But I like this like next level world champ Kenny. It's good. I
just thought the visual was cool as well. He's just golfing. Being on the golf green with Alex Marvez chasing after him.
Isn't that to me is like a Ric Flair type thing? Like that's something a badass world champ would be doing. I'm not flustered about a match tonight. I'm fucking champ. I'm golfing.
It also kind of feels, we just mentioned it, but Bond villain-esque.
Right.
Like Goldfinger would go and have a round of golf and that kind of thing. It feels very villainy.
Yeah.
And I like it.
It's exactly that. I enjoy this. I want to see more of doing, I don't know, white people.
Pretty much. Just stuff that's going to get you mad.
Yeah, make me mad as watching him golf. I'm like, fuck you, man.
Especially like we're stuck at home in a basement and you're in the sunshine playing golf.
Yeah.
With all the freedom in the world. It's like, fuck you, Kenny.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I need to and maybe golf does clear your mind.
I think so.
Okada
calming.
Okada always says fishing is what helps. Like, and I could totally see that. You burn one and go fishing, your mind will be so clear. I can't do I want to get into the yoga thing, but I can't. Meditation is hard for me. My brain never.
But that you can't just meditate and be fine. It's practice.
Yeah, you got to practice.
Do it.
Just like
you can't just sit down cross-legged and go on for a minute and be like, "Well, I'm still thinking about everything." Everything takes work.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I like these evil golf, Kenny. We go to our next match, and it's legit Leyla Hirsch versus Thunder Rosa. Rosa in an insert promo says she's winning this damn tournament because the American side of this tournament title, and I'm winning the damn thing, and then I'll get back my NWA Women's title too, and then I'll beat up Britt Baker with her stupid nose.
I love how every promo Thunder Rosa's just like, Britt, your nose is big. I really like Thunder Rosa.
Yeah,
I kind of forget every week how much I like her until I see her promo and watch her wrestle. She's fiery. I like it.
Yeah, very.
I really like it.
Yeah, there's a standing senton early on here, but Hirsch comes back with a Hurricane Rana out of the corner, then a Tope Suicida. Hirsch does these crazy like transitions, flying arm bars and crazy stuff here. But Rosa comes back with a hangman neck breaker at one point. There's like arm bars and arm breakers and sentons. There's a counter from Rosa who turns it into the final cut, which is like we were talking about this movie, first DDT sit out thing Balor kind of does, like a sling blade. Then there's like bicycle knees from Hirsch as she comes back. Hirsch misses this moonsault after going for it a second time, and Rosa gets this like huge knee for a near fall. And then it's Thunder Rosa who eventually picks her up for this Fire Thunder driver, which sit out like kind of move, and Thunder Rosa pins Hirsch.
Yeah, pretty good match, I thought. Yeah. Again, just kind of reestablished how good Thunder Rosa is. I think she's going to be a one to watch in this tournament. Leyla Hirsch has impressed me every time I've seen her as well. More kind of traditional catch-as-catch-can style wrestling from her, which I like. I thought this was pretty good.
Yeah.
The women's matches have definitely improved over the last few weeks. I still feel they need to, I hate to use the term, but get to that sports entertainment level as well. Have the more of the storylines and the promos and stuff making me care about them a bit more. But I think the actual wrestling's been pretty good the last few weeks.
Yeah, this tournament's a good next step in kind of, I think everyone's been on the same page thinking that women's division's kind of just barely there, really. It's not been much going on. And I think with this tournament, it'll definitely spice things up and turn things around. The Japanese side of it, they said it's airing on Monday on their YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I'm going to have to check that out. We'll talk about it maybe a little bit next week because Maki Ito, that tweet from Jim Cornette was really, really funny. This shitty
let's not even talk about
I know,
him.
but
What
I'm
a
like,
loser.
I love her. I think she could be a very big star. I realized that I went to DDT Coming to America in WrestleMania weekend, and I talked to her.
Oh, okay.
I was like, was that her? I'm pretty sure it was her, Maki Ito. And then I looked it up, and I was like, yeah. There was another wrestler that I won't mention I had talked to because he's been canceled, but he was on that card too. But then I remember leaving, and she was like, "Thanks for coming." And then I think I must have had some Japanese fresh in my mind at the time, and I spoke to her in Japanese, and then she like loved it, so I started talking to her for the longest time. But I can't wait to see that. I don't know if she's on this Monday show, but I
think they said they're doing all the first round matches.
Oh, okay.
On Monday.
Yeah, I like this tournament idea. And then so what? The Japanese side meets the American side, and they like fight each other eventually, or
they'll have the whole tournament one side, whole tournament the other, and then whoever wins the Japanese side will just come over. So you're only going to have one person coming over from Japan.
No, but cool. I thought this match was great. Legit Leyla Hirsch got a new, like the name, legit Leyla Hirsch.
Yep.
Thunder Rosa is super fiery. I like the direction. Tony Schiavone is with Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. Sit down. He says, Dax, we had a great match. You slapped me silly, but what matters is I came out on top. I came out a different man. I tapped you out. And no, we didn't tell on you. We beat you in a match, and that's it. You decided to do all this stuff, to kidnap Marco, to do all this ridiculous stuff. And, well, we wanted you, and, well, I want another match, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to make you my bitch. So a rematch possibly of either a tag, Jurassic Express versus FTR, or just a one-on-one Jungle Boy, Jack Perry match. But I thought Jungle Boy sounded pretty good here. Next step, I think.
Definitely improving. Yeah, definitely taking a step forward. Still a long way to go with the promo, but it's starting to sound a bit more believable. Kind of goes back to that Lee Johnson thing. Like he sounded like a real human being, which is a good first step. Didn't really sound like he was reading lines until the classic bitch line,
of course,
which seems to be in every promo.
Yeah,
these
everyone
days.
Always says, "Make you my bitch."
but still not really got that sizzle to it.
Yeah.
But it'll come. Hopefully, if got some of his dad's like acting chops, DNA somewhere in there.
Yeah.
It'll come out. But yeah, definitely a step forward for Jungle Boy.
Luke Perry, rest in peace. But Jungle Boy's got the greatest theme song. Didn't get to hear it tonight though. I'll play it for you later.
I've heard it enough times. Thanks.
Trying to make it my ringtone again. Years later.
Do people still have ringtones?
No, my phone doesn't let me anymore. That's how fucked up. A listener heard me say, "How do I get my thing?" A listener out there, and I'm sorry, I forget who you are, but they went on this ringtone app and uploaded our themes on it.
Oh.
So you could like use it as your thing, but I don't know how to do it. So I was like, all right, well, don't even use ringtone. Main event time. The Forbidden Door opens here with a unsanctioned. Is that the proper term here? There's no sanction in this match.
Lights out, Falls Count Anywhere, anything goes.
Crazy chaos. And it's the Bullet Club, meaning Kenta, the briefcase holder for the IWGP US title, and the AEW World Champ, Kenny Omega, teaming up. The Bullet Club, unlikely alliance here. Don't call them friends, but they're on the going up against Lance Archer, the Murder Hawk, and Jon Moxley. Does Lance Archer have one of the best themes? Because the lyric is just "Everybody dies."
I find it quite catchy. Everybody dies, and I like how he sings along to it when it comes out.
Cool. It sounds like it's so happy, but
it's
the lyrics are "Everybody
and I'm
dies."
gonna take my time.
If you took the lyrics of that song and gave it to like, I don't know, like a Billie Eilish or someone, or Adele, who could turn it to "Everybody dies." It's so catchy. It's so catchy.
I like his theme. It's
great.
good.
Do you think they gave him like, hey, you pick one of these themes to be like your theme? Heard that one?
He's been saying it a while. Though.
Was it
was his thing in New Japan?
Okay,
as
all
well,
right. So
he had the EBD claw.
Everybody dies claw.
Yeah.
Lance Archer.
Extension, Lance Archer.
Lance Archer and Jon Moxley teaming together against Kenny and Kenta. Right away, Kenta uses his briefcase and strikes Moxley in the head with it, and then goes after Archer, but he kind of no-sells it and scares Kenta here. Kenny beats down on, is it Moxley here, and does the "you can't escape" and puts the trash can on the top turnbuckle. So when he does the flip and gets to the top rope, he uses the trash can to then moonsault onto Moxley. This spot is incredible. How does this guy do this move? The "you can't escape" fireman carry roll, where he lands on his feet. He makes it look like you clicked in reverse, like something like the way his body does that. He's not human. Kenny Omega is an alien. Let's all agree, because I don't know how he does this and makes it look so easy. There's Kenta, who's got like kendo sticks now. There's trash cans and more trash cans. Archer sets up a ladder and does a belly to belly, throwing Kenta into that, or Kenny into that. Kenta sits Moxley on a chair, so Moxley's seated, and then runs at him with like a seated senton, literally
like the Rey Mysterio kind of seated senton.
And the chair just like collapses with Moxley. Looks crazy, literally a seated senton. There's then fighting all around the ringside, and this is where we see Peter Avalon and his bed. He's very concerned here, and there's a go to sleep on someone, but he doesn't fall into the bed, which I thought was a missed comedy spot there. If the guy's going to sleep, well, there's a bed right there. You just go into it. But instead, it's I think Archer who eventually like throws Kenny through this bed, and the whole time this bed just looks like it's a mattress that's shaped like a heart, like on the floor. But when Kenny gets thrown off like this guardrail through it, you realize it's like an actual bed. There's like wood and shit.
Yeah, so Kenny goes for like his springboard off the guardrail and gets choke slammed through this thing. But the choke slam is a toss. The bed isn't right below them. And it's on concrete as well.
Yeah.
So Kenny just goes flying, smashing through this thing. This looked great. And also the risk level here was pretty nuts with this being on concrete. I thought this looked fantastic.
Again, it looked as if before the spot, it just looked like it was a mattress. But then when Kenny gets thrown, this thing just like explodes, and it looks like that could have really hurt.
Yeah,
actually.
I think so.
That he's probably feeling that one today. That spot looked nuts, and it was to a bed. It doesn't give it justice because it's a bed, but like, ow, that looked like it hurt. So he's beating the hell out of him. This is just chaos everywhere. They're fighting around the ringside. They fight towards the back, and there's this kick Moxley gives to Kenta, giving him a seat here, just a kick to the
like
jaw.
kick,
Just yeah, it looked crazy. They're now fighting throughout the kitchen. Yes, this is like totally Attitude Era, like hardcore title match. Essentially, they're fighting all through the arena, through the kitchen here, and they're in the kitchen fighting on these tables, and then there's like a DDT to Mox on it. It's insane.
They're like the wheelie kitchen tables, like the metal ones.
Lance Archer comes in with a box of potatoes. Yes, a box of potatoes has now been used as a weapon in wrestling.
That would hurt. Potatoes are pretty hard.
They were
and there were a lot of them. That would have
Yeah.
been heavy and hurt.
And then Moxley grabs a potato and starts using it as a weapon.
Oh,
So
yeah.
a potato
Literally potatoed him.
Potatoed him. Yeah, I love that call. He potatoed him. Literally. They fight through the arena again, and then the commentary is like, hey, they're walking through to the back. Let's quickly show you some recaps of this match. This was a taped episode, so it's fine. It's basically like trimming down them walking back to the...
And also, we don't know what's on TV and what's commercials a lot of the time, do
Yeah,
we?
true. So when we come back to the action, they're into the ring again. Moxley with the kendo stick. Kenny blocks it, but then gets a headshot again. There's a spot where Kenny and Moxley are fighting, and Kenny kind of puts Moxley on this table, but hasn't done anything, while Kenta and Archer are fighting on the stage. And Kenta just, while attacking Archer, turns his attention around and just jumps, diving off the stage with the double foot stomp to Mox on the table. The table doesn't break. I am the table, but it still looked crazy.
This was so cool because you had Archer who was teasing the power bomb through the announce table, and you kind of feel a bit because you're going, oh, because we hadn't really seen that through the AEW announce table, and they've got the monitors there and stuff, and you kind of think the way this match is going, yeah, I can see Kenta maybe just getting power bombed through this monitor on this table. So you're looking for that, but then just swerves you with Kenta escaping, sprinting, and just diving off the stage. And we kind of forget that Mox is there under. Made me gasp. Like, didn't see this coming.
I shouted. I screamed.
Great.
Yeah, the flying Kenta is just crazy. This definitely got my attention. This match was crazy already, but this was like, whoa, that was pretty nuts. Archer now wants Kenny one-on-one, and he's beating up on Kenny in the ring, does his old school rope walk moonsault to him, but out come the Good Brothers. There's a gun stun, and then Jake Roberts is getting involved now, hits his short arm clothesline in there, but he's attacked.
Every week, he's just doing wrestling moves.
He's trying to get back
and
in
then
the ring.
Sting's there about to work a match and hasn't taken a bump yet.
So you're saying you want Sting versus Jake Roberts?
No, I'm just questioning why this is a thing.
No, you want Jake the Snake versus Sting.
No.
Cinemat.
Absolutely not.
Snake Pit. Sting. Scorpions and snakes. Whoa. The Good Brothers here, they're beating down on him, but Moxley comes back in with a barbed wire bat, but good thing the Good Brothers are wearing their puffy vests. I love Carl Anderson's fit here, by the way. I want camo sweatpants that match a camo vest. You're gonna see me rocking that.
All right.
This year. You'll all see.
Can't wait.
Loved it. And I'll get the Impact titles too. Look like him. There's chaos here. There's then Kenta who gets back in with the GTS on Moxley. Looked a lot better than the one last week. But then Kenny hits V-triggers. There's V-triggers. He's teasing that he's going to V-trigger Jake the Snake.
Yes.
But it's blocked here.
So right before the match starts, Moxley kind of chest bumps with Jake.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, man, obviously a lot of respect there. We all know the angle, and it's kind of not been mentioned, but it still kind of feels canon that Jake put that snake on Dean Ambrose.
Right.
And it feels like
they're boys.
Dean, like, respected him after that moment because he's a nutter.
Yeah.
You know? So this is Ambrose coming in with Darby, the barbed wire bat, for the save here.
Yeah, he saves him, but then eats a GTS. And then Kenny hits a V-trigger to Lance Archer, just kills him. Tries to go for the one-winged angel, but Lance Archer is a big boy. But the Good Brothers are there, so they help Kenny by lifting Archer up while on the shoulders of Kenny, who then hits the one-winged angel, one of the biggest one-winged angels, I'd say. Holy shit, this looked crazy. Kenny pins Lance Archer to win this lights out unsanctioned match. The Bullet Club are fine.
I thought this was a really fantastic match. So much chaos. They kind of... I think we kind of got over backstage brawls and all that after the Attitude Era, but it was such a big thing in like 99, 2000, WCW, WWF. They do these brawls all the time, but now just the quality, the work rates improved so much since then that you can just make it even crazier and mix in the cool wrestling elements as well. I thought this was so good. I thought we were kind of questioning, wait, why is Archer in this
match?
Like, what's his beef again? But I thought he was really impressive in this, and as a big guy can do some pretty crazy stuff. That chokeslam looked nuts, and I doubt Lance Archer has taken a bump like that, the One-Winged Angel, many times at all. I doubt he's ever up that high for a move. So that was really impressive, and obviously Kenny being able to hit the thing as well. The stomp off the stage was nuts. I really loved this. I thought this was great.
Yeah, I mean, Archer has the history with New Japan, like there being wrestling there for many years before this. So I guess it makes sense with Kenta being there. It's all New Japan guys in this match, but I thought this was really fun. It definitely felt like Attitude Era type thing, but still had some of the stories weaving in and out. So, and I like Kenny getting the win here. It was not to Mox, it was to Archer. That's kind of why he was in. But it saves Kenta versus Mox. It still saves Mox versus Kenny down the line. That's probably your Revolution main event, is it not? Like Kenny
Mox
versus
Kenny? I'd imagine so, yeah. Unless you're doing some kind of 6-man or whatever. But they seem to be doing that enough on Dynamite. So I think we'll get, the title match.
Yeah. So that was AEW Dynamite. What'd you think?
I thought it was a pretty good show, actually. Loved the main event. Really liked the opening match. Liked what they did with Lee Johnson. I liked the Hangman and Matt stuff. Inner Circle stuff, I kind of liked the idea of it. Execution wasn't quite there for me this week, but I'm excited to see where it goes with Sammy being a babyface. We forgot to mention, we met Arn's son.
Oh, right, yeah. Arn's
Brock Anderson?
Brock Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. If we're going to get Arn Anderson's son wrestling at some point.
Spinebusters.
That was cool as well. But yeah, I quite enjoyed last night's Dynamite.
Yeah, it had some stuff I didn't really like, but this main event was really fun. I liked the opener as well with Janela and Darby. It had some good bookends. There was some stuff in between I didn't like. I'm interested. It makes me want to watch the Hangman thing with Matt Hardy. I want to see where it goes, because I think kind of an end game situation there is Hangman maybe going to Dark Order, helping them, joining them in some capacities.
I see some kind of big save or something at some point. Someone taking out all of Dark Order and Hangman running out. You kind of want to see them be together eventually, which is crazy to think.
I think so.
The first time they teased Hangman being with them, everyone groaning, going, "Oh, Dark Order suck," and all this. And now you're like, I just want you to be together.
Be together. Come on. Be together. Yeah, definitely. Which show did you like better, NXT or AEW?
I think I preferred AEW this week.
Yeah, look, TakeOver is this weekend, and usually NXT sets up these takeovers, and you look at the match and you go, I can't wait for that. But their go-home shows kind of don't usually kind of give you that, like, home run show. It sets up for the pay-per-view, but it's not usually something that, like, steals the night or whatever. Crazy. I thought AEW had a better show this week as well. I think the main event definitely added is the interest level there. You looked at that on paper as Kenta and Kenny versus Mox and Archer in a no holds barred whatever. Like, that sounds nuts, and it was. So
do you see there being any more association with Jake and Moxley, or do you see Mox and Archer maybe being a tag for a bit? Not, I mean, we've got so many tag teams, but there was a bit of a relationship there with Jake. I wonder if we'll see Mox affiliated with him in any way some point.
Yeah, that's fine. I think what's going to happen with Kenta? Are we going to see more of Kenta in AEW, or is he just here to fuck with Moxley because he has their match, which they've announced now? So it's interesting. I want to see, like, I don't want to see just New Japan guys come in and out, and like it needs to be thought out, right? Like,
and they seem to be doing that.
Yeah, and they seem to be right now, so it's okay.
Another thing that was brought up in this match is all four, apart from Kenta, who's obviously got the briefcase, they're all US champions in New Japan as well.
Right.
So it's a very New Japan heavy main event, even though three of the guys are AEW now. they've all got their ties, which I found pretty cool.
Someone in the chat saying after the post match there was like a little press conference that they bury the Bullet Club Japan guys. So I don't know. Story. It could be a work. You never. These guys all say shit about.
I feel the Bullet Club Japan guys just bury themselves, don't you?
I mean, yeah, yeah.
Also in the chat, apparently, Colt Cabana said our podcast name is lame.
Oh, sorry.
Fuck the Dark Order. Last nice thing I say about them.
Join the Dark Order. Is he even still in the Dark Order?
Yeah, apparently our Twitch channel came up as a recommendation on Colt's stream.
Okay.
And he went lame. What a heel.
I'm throwing away my I Star Colt shirt. Throwing it away.
Scrump, next time you see Colt, have words, all right?
So yeah, I liked the Graps last night on TV, but I think I preferred that AEW show, this Dynamite show. So the pay-per-view's in a few weeks, so there's still time for that. But yeah, this Sunday takeover is kind of where we gave our predictions and stuff on Up Next. But join us for that. Do we have any calls today?
We do, yeah.
Okay.
If you are a patron and in the Twitch chat right now and happen to want to call in, the Zoom link is there. So please get to us. We'd love to hear your thoughts on tonight's Dynamite or NXT or wrestling in general, whatever you'd like to say. And I think we have Jake from the Windy City, or Windy Jake, as I'm now calling him.
Jake.
He's on the Zoom. So if you'd like to unmute yourself, Jake, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it's an honor to be a part of the BDE. Finally, thanks for having me on. And by the way, Davie, I appreciated your Super Bowl watch along this past Sunday. Three Brits talking about American football. What can get better than that?
Three Brits who don't really know a great deal about American football talking about American football. Yeah, it was fun, and I did win both of my fantasy leagues this year. So maybe I do know a thing or two. But
yeah,
thank you for joining us for that. That was a hoot, as we say.
Hoots.
A hoot. What would you like to talk about today, Jake?
I coming into Dynamite, I wasn't really expecting a whole lot. Because besides the main event, considering it's like, oh, it's an all right card. It's an all right card. Going into that, but overall, it was such a good watch. Obviously, the low point for me was Team Taz and Darby and Sting. I just think the whole thing has become repetitive, and I just don't know how they're going to pull this off, to be honest with you, but we'll just see what's going to go on. But I'm still intrigued by Sting. He's still one of my favorites, so I'll just see what happens going on from there. But obviously, the main event was crazy. I always think that there's no way AEW could top the previous week's main event and last week's main events, but I always love. I'm so happy to be wrong every week. So because that was such a crazy match, and how much there's every bit of storytelling in there, and just Moxley becoming so aggressive, and Archer looked amazing last night, and I really definitely marked out when I saw Mox in the backstage promo taking the belt out, the U.S. Championship, and that in itself is surreal, seeing an IWGP belt being on AEW television.
It is weird, and we have seen other titles in AEW, and as we mentioned in the show, I do find it funny how they kind of pick and choose when these guys are champions. Kenny wouldn't have the AAA championship for a long time, and then just brings it out one week. But it is very surreal.
Pulls it out casually.
Exactly.
Yeah, just pulls out casually. So it's like it's so funny. I'm just gonna. It's over fun. Overall, I enjoyed AEW this week more than NXT. Even though like NXT was still good last night, I love the Kushida Gargano segment. So that was like pretty funny when they went through that. So yeah, it's really interesting takeover this weekend. It looks like it's gonna be a fun card. So I'm gonna tune into your guys' Twitch watch-along. So, and by the way, I just want to give a shout out, if you don't mind. One of my good friends, Jeremy Collins, used to work at the TSN Radio Hamilton station for the past 3 years, and unfortunately, he was a part of the the unfortunate mass layoffs this past week, the past couple of days, and yeah, it's like trying to catch up with him and trying to contact him, and it's good. Like, he's in good spirits now, and yeah, it's a sad time that many people are getting laid off all across Canada, especially in the media industry.
I was part of some cuts years ago. I was part of some Bell Media cuts, and it's crazy. A few of my friends were let go this week as well through a few different things with Bell Media, and here in Canada, they pretty much run a bunch of these radio stations, and it's unfortunate. We have been super fortunate that we operate not through a radio station and through ourselves and Patreon. And I know it's easy for us to say, but I recommend people maybe who had sports shows or anything on these stations to maybe look to becoming their own bosses, because it's something that, again, it's easy to say, but when what did Lee Johnson say? Do the work. Yeah, and it can pay off essentially, because I have been there. I was laid off years ago.
People will find you. I mean, you saw the whole thing with John and Wai when they got let go, and they had, before Post Wrestling was even a thing, they had that, what was it, Jon and Wai for Life channel, and people will find you. If you do have an audience, they will come and find. So it's hopefully in a few months' time, people let go can look at it as a positive, maybe, because I definitely think Jon and Wai look at it that way. Yeah, it kind of gave them the kick they needed to go out on their own and make something. But it does suck. You never want to hear about people losing their jobs, especially during these times. It's rough, but hopefully there is some kind of future if people want to keep on doing what they do. There certainly is ways. I mean, we're talking to you right now on a live, essentially, radio show that we're just doing in our home, so
and I can say anything on it.
Yeah,
I can swear on it. But
you don't have to be you don't have to be restricted to the CRTC restrictions, so
exactly,
it's all good.
Fuck the CRTC. No, I'm joking. I still work for a station that heavily honored by that. So thank you, Jake. Thank you for calling in, and shout out to any of the people who lost their shows and radio stations this week in Canada. But I hope they land on their feet, and I know certain people. Yes.
Thanks, Jake.
All right, thanks, guys.
Windy
thanks,
Jake.
guys. Appreciate it.
And we have Chris Elliott, our up next Rumble winner. Chris, what were your thoughts on AEW this week? What would you like to talk about?
Evening, gents.
It is evening for you, I guess.
Right,
Hello,
yes.
good evening.
Yeah. Just got 5 minutes before I go and chuck the kids into bed. And it was I enjoyed last night's Dynamite. Main event was fantastic, and it was nice to see a decent brawl and going backstage. As you said earlier, it was very attitude era in some of the backstage bits, which is something you very rarely see nowadays. But just I know I mentioned it earlier in the chat, and Dave, you brought it up, but it wasn't very much, but QT's reaction to Lee Johnson when he was like, "Oh, thank you to Cody and Dustin and even Brandy," and you could just see, if you just watch QT in the background when he's in that promo, and you can just see his face just getting like, "When are you mentioning me?"
Yeah,
and just kind of he was like rubbing his hands, and then he didn't. I think he did. Johnson shook Dustin and Cody's hands afterwards as well, and he didn't interact at all with QT.
Oh.
So I can see there being some kind of, I don't even want to say a heel turn, but just him saying, "What about me? I've kind of been here, and I'm the one that's properly taught you, and I'm the one that's done this and that and the other." I can see that being a possible, whether that just is a dark program or whether they do something on Dynamite with that. I see
think
that being Johnson's direction.
AEW are really good at doing those subtle things that you catch, and obviously the go-to is that Hangman Page, Kenny Omega Bucks match, where it's littered with those kind of things. But I love little details like that, even if it's even if it's not scripted, but talent are just like, oh, I might just plant this little seed here. So if we ever do go to this match, it's something we can go back to and grow. So I didn't personally pick up on that, but I do recall him not saying Cutie's name, and that would obviously rub Cutie up the wrong way. So yeah, nice little detail there, Chris.
And I don't want to make this a kind of WWE bashing thing, but it's the kind of thing that they wouldn't do. Their storytelling is really to the like straight ahead, and it's like hitting you over the head with something, which it's very rare. I think there's the odd bit with the Roman storyline where you'll get the odd little subtle hint of, especially when he was feuding with Jay.
I find since AEW, and I think I've said this, I find since AEW's been around, and that's only been like a year and some change, that WWE has taken things from AEW, and that is one of the things. WWE's just started doing that recently, like the little subtle things. They had not done that for a long time. In the old days, they would do it because every little thing means something. But now, like the past 5-10 years, nothing. But lately, they do it.
Yeah, I wonder how much is because there isn't that audience there. So obviously, if you're kind of doing an angle, you're doing it for the cameras, but you're also trying to project it so the person in the back row at a sold out arena can understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe because it's more of like a sort of TV set now, you can play with the subtleties a bit more because you are just playing to that camera. So maybe it's a good thing kind of coming out from this pandemic era that we can focus on those little things a little bit more.
I like it. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
No worries, guys. Catch you later.
Take care,
brother.
Chat to you soon.
Royal Rumble winner.
Rumble winner. And was very nice to you. It's been very nice.
We've decided, look.
We're going babyface, are we?
I wouldn't say that. wouldn't say that. How can you be a babyface if you got ketchup all over your face? You didn't have that time. That was AEW Dynamite. Thank you for listening and supporting us here. Up next is out the NXT show, BDElite. This show, every Thursday, we'll record it here live on Twitch, Thursdays at 1 p.m. Then eventually we'll lead to that pay-per-view, which we'll do a show on that as well. So looking forward to that down the line for Revolution as well. So the main event tonight actually reminded me because we're doing St. Valentine's Day Massacre. And on that show has the real debut of Hardcore Holly.
Oh, yeah.
Holly, Bob Holly turns to Hardcore Holly.
Sparky plug no more.
And it's kind of similar to this main event that we had tonight with KENTA. Like, it's just street fight where they fight all over the place. Definitely Attitude Era vibes I got. And that review, St. Valentine's Day Massacre, will be out this Saturday, or tomorrow rather, on our Patreon, as well as the top 5 moments of love. All the Valentine's Day stuff leading into our Palentine's Day. I almost said Palestine's again. Palentine's Day, Vengeance Day, together. Watch along this Sunday for Vengeance Day Takeover, which is going to be a hoot. So come check us out. And then, of course, the post-show live after that as well. So come check us out at Up Next Podcast for all the stuff there, the socials, because we tweet out all the shows that we've been doing, all the free shows, and all the stuff on the Patreon as well.
Absolutely. And if you happen to be listening right now, it is currently Thursday. A lot going on the post-wrestling Discord tonight. So I believe in about 2 hours, so 4:45 Eastern, Mike Hogan is going to be leading a watch-along for NXT TakeOver Rival, because I believe it's 6 years to the day that event happened, headlined by Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. And that will lead you in perfectly to our Discord Games Night at 7 p.m, where I'll be joined by Phil Chairtok, Jordan Goodman, and Eric Marcotte to play some Jackbox games. All you need to do is show up to the Discord. You don't need anything else. And then tomorrow we'll have our usual Twitch programming with the other guys talking WandaVision's film and TV at 6:30, followed by our watch-along of SmackDown Live. So just make sure you follow Up Next on everything, because we'll keep you very informed with what's going on. But
I think
until
John
then...
Pollock was right.
What's that?
You're on there a lot.
I'm on there a lot, yeah. But yeah, if we don't catch you with them, hopefully we'll see you with TakeOver Vengeance Day this Sunday.
Yes, come hang out with us on the watch along or the post show or both, because we'll be watching that show intently. But as for then, check out Up Next, check out Deep Impact here on the free feed, all the free podcasts. And of course, if you want to hear more of us, $5 a month, North American tier gets you access to all the shows on the Patreon, and it supports us. We have to give a little shout out because our Patreon this month, as of yesterday, has hit the highest it's ever done. May not be in highest patrons, but in highest making money. We can go golfing if we wanted to with all this Patreon money. So thank you to everyone who's supporting us here. Not only listening to the free shows, but every little thing, every like, retweet, or subscription, or all the things on the podcast apps. Give us a review. Every little thing counts. And I just want to say thanks to everyone for supporting us. Because yeah, we're making that Patreon.
Yeah,
money.
I really feel over the last kind of 2 months, this community's really grown, and it's so cool to kind of see the same faces coming in every week in the kind of Twitch chats, and then more people joining in and coming on. So I really do recommend it. If you haven't joined one of our live shows, do come along, check us out, because the chat is always fire, and it's really nice to see how Up Next has been growing for us in the last few months.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Everyone who listens to this free show, every patron that subscribes and listens to all the extra shows that we've been doing, and to anyone who's rocking the Up Next hoodies, ProWrestlingTees.com/upnext. We got the White Claw black or white versions of the hoodie and t-shirts there. So go check us out and support us there if you'd like, and send in pictures of rocking our sweet threads. Yeah, looking fit. Thank you for listening. I myself, Braden Herrington. You can find me Twitter, Instagram at the Brady.
And you can find me at Davie Portman.
And we'll be talking to you again very soon. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And I don't know. See you next week.
Was that it?
I know Cameron Grimes had when I watch a wrestling show, I always think, oh, that's the line I'll use to end the show. And Cameron Grimes on NXT was like, kiss my grits. And I was like, yeah, of course I'm going to say kiss my grits. But no,
he potatoed him.
He potatoed him. Sure. Yeah.
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but it seems like just yesterday when we were side by side. Beast mode, no one's blocking our way. These other guys tried it, but them man ain't got the skills of Braden and Davie, brazen and raging, bringing you the thrills and spills. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite. Right here in full gear, about to blow up like TNT. Us man are too sweet, Brady, DVP, the BDElite.